So can you tell me about the first time you realised the importance of executive presence in your career?
I absolutely love that question, Julie. Uh, Executive presence has always been a consideration for me throughout my career. And part of that is because I was such a young leader and had a lot of responsibility very early in my career. So I was quite a young bank manager at age 22. So I learned quickly that I needed to walk, talk, look, and act like the leader of the branch and represent the brand of the organization. And so when customers used to ask to speak to the manager, as they do in banking, there was sometimes a look of surprise as I was approaching the counter as a young woman. But people quickly warmed to me. And I really learnt through those roles to earn respect quickly. And part of that is certainly by developing executive presence. I think nowadays it's being part of every leadership role, and it's really about maximising your connection with your people, with your clients, with your shareholders, and instilling trust and building great working relationships. And into the future, I think executive presence will still remain important because relevance is key, and it can also be fun to get involved in as well. So I run a few different companies, and throughout each of those roles, each of the different companies has a different culture. So with that, to build connection, you want to be able to adjust and have some flexibility in your image and how you portray yourself with your stakeholders as well. So
Mhm.
I won't wear a suit in Silicon Valley, but I certainly will in financial services.
Yes, it's all about being adaptable, isn't it? And blending in with the situation that you're in. You said something in that which was of interest to me, and you said that when you, at such a young age, when you were your bank manager, that you found people warmed to you very quickly. What do you think was behind all of that?
Well, I think there's certainly communication skills there, where when I communicate, it's all about what the other person needs. And so making sure that that's really reflected in the conversation. I think a second part to that is also having everything about how you approach the situation. That includes your body language, how you look, your gestures, those sorts of things, be congruent with your message so that they're not seeing this disconnect into who they would expect to be really looking after their finances in that case, which is such an important part of everyone's lives. So they need to really have someone that can take control of that situation they can feel confident in. So I learned a lot in that communication skills very early on.
Okay. Uh, just, I'm curious also to ask you, did you wear a uniform in that position?
Yes, and my younger brother used to come over and call me Bank Manager Barbie at that point because I did have a suit. It had our logo on it, but of course you could still adjust how you wore that. You know, what are the accessories? How well you looked after it? Which outfits within that uniform you chose? And we're very fortunate at that time to have great Australian designers be involved in creating that uniform, which helped have a quality product as well.
Yeah, I always find that when people put on a uniform, they step up into another space, and they assume the role that they are expected to be when they put on a uniform. It's like the military. When people
Mm.
put on a military uniform, they automatically step into another space. Did you find that yourself when you put on your uniform in the bank?
Yeah, looking back on it, I think so because you are representing the organization, you're representing the brand, and so that ethos comes through. If you allow it to, you can allow it to really influence the way that you are holding yourself and interacting with people throughout the day for sure.